Welcome to Dare to Dream show. I'm your host, Graham Williamson, international intuitive, evidential medium, and psychic. And you're on WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, radio, TV, and podcasts. And today's show is about various gifts. Every single person is a psychic, in my opinion. But not everybody is a medium. I've said it before. But every psychic, every one of us, have different abilities. We call them gifts. There's about 20 of them, just rounding them off. But each person uses their gifts differently. Every single one is unique to that person. No two mediums or psychics are exactly the same. They just can't be. We're individual. And one of my favorite gifts is automatic writing. I can sit and write without even thinking about it. And that's the whole point. It's called automatic writing. The ability to draw or write without conscious effort or intent. A lot of us do things automatically. It's ingrained in the human psyche. Our bodies are gifted beyond thought. There's no limitation of those gifts. You see, everybody uses their energy of what makes them animated, alive in the physical form, different or differently. Automatic writing or spelling or painting, whatever you're doing, sometimes it's automatic and you don't have to think about it. Sounds really difficult, doesn't it? But you've got to practice at it. Well, you breathe without thought. You move without thought. You balance without thought. You speak without thought. You breathe. You hear. You feel. All without conscious thought. And those things, people just, it's automatic. Well, everything else can be automatic if you allow yourself to explore those possibilities, those doorways that you have within you. And I use the term doorway loosely because once you step into the realms of your psychic abilities, once I've stepped through, there is no door, there's no floor, no ceiling, nothing. Everything's open without boundaries. I don't want a floor. I don't want a ceiling. I don't want walls. Because that's limiting my perception of who I am. And when I write, it's without conscious intention. People know a lot about deja vu or astral projection, astral traveling. There's a lot of different hang on, I'm just getting the terminology for you because I want to be right for you so you can understand what it is I'm trying to tell you. This astral projection I just said, and ergonesis, a rare one, the ability to influence the movement or energy such as electricity without direct interaction. Sounds difficult, doesn't it? But in a way, you're doing it all the time. When you walk up to something, especially the back of your hand, you can feel heat. Or you can feel something different in the air. It's because your energy goes beyond your skin level. If that's your skin level, your energy can be way out extreme distance, or it can be just a little bit. But you always feel it before you touch it, your body. And you're doing it all the time. When you walk into a room, you can feel the atmosphere. Do you feel comfortable? Yes or no? If it's yes, you stay. If not, you leave. If you listen to your gifts. Levitation, now, most people have heard about that. Being able to lift things by mystical means. Used to do that as a child. With 2 fingers. I've got 3 older sisters and a younger brother at the time. And we all used to practice on one of us. So there's the other three, one sitting down and one observing. And we used to pick each other up just by 6 fingers. Sounds impossible, doesn't it? But anything's possible when you allow yourself to walk the path. Materialization, the creation of objects and materials, or the appearance of matter from unknown sources. Now, you all know about mediumship or channeling, the ability to communicate with spirit. I'm just giving you a rundown of some of the names. Prophecy, psychic surgery, psychokinesis, perikinesis, shape-shifting, thoughtography, xenoglossy, witnessing, and so it goes on. You see, I have never limited my gifts by saying I'm a clairvoyant. I'm only this. I can only do astral, or I can only do clairsentience, or my brain is working overtime. But I never limit by just giving myself a single label. Because, as I said, when I step through the door to work with my psychic abilities, as soon as I step through the door, everything disappeared, and there's me suspended in the energy. And that's the way I love it. Because I can feel coming through my toes, through my sides, through my head, through my face, my back, everywhere. Because I quit thinking, how can I do this? In fact, it's harder for me to switch off to those abilities and be just Graham, the human being, not psychic human being. But as a medium, I'm a psychic and a medium, and all the senses are working simultaneously 24/7 if I allowed it. You see, we have control over what works through us from our heart. Consciously, it's a bit harder to concentrate, so I don't bother. I just let out comfortably from my instincts the words I'm using. Spirit guide me, because I've been doing this a very long time. And it's easy for me to just relax and trust what I'm telling you makes sense. You see, using your various gifts is your choice. How you use them is your choice. But you've got to realize it's not you directly, totally on your own creating those gifts. Spirit activate the divine energy that passes through us, that animates our physical being and our spiritual being, all working together. You're never alone. The divine is always with you. That's my interpretation of God, or whatever terminology you wish to use. But it's not negative. If it was negative, I'll be going the other way. I've seen too much negativity, but it's from ego of man. You see, your various gifts, you are responsible for what you utter and do with those gifts. As a physical person, you are responsible for them. So I always ask for guidelines. Well, sorry, I make the guidelines. And I say, this is my intention to use whatever gifts you see fit, spirit or divine energy. You guide my purpose in life, along with my blessing. You see, spirit want to work with you 24/7. In fact, as I say, they'd have you on your feet 30 hours solid, 40, 50, whatever. There's no time limit to spirit. You have to put a time limit for you. Spirit know that you are only capable of so much, but they want to get out as much as possible. Sounds weird, doesn't it? But when you drive a car or ride a bicycle, once you get the balance right, once you get to know what the gears do and the wheel does and the indicator or signals, seat belts, getting the seat in the right position, the AC working properly, especially in Florida, you switch off to that. It's automatic. So the more you learn of your gift, the more automatic it can become. You see, when we allow that part of our hidden abilities to step forward, there is no limitation to the life you can have. 21 years ago, I had a chat room in England. I was doing readings and I met my wife. June of 2001. Came here December 2001. Married January 2002. I've been here 21 years. Because of my gifts, I explored my abilities. I never put a limitation on it. And I had a choice. Should I stay in England with my brothers and sisters, or should I go where my gut told me I needed to be? 21 years later, my abilities have grown. My sensitivity has grown, but my feet are firmly on the ground. I'm not egotistical. I'm not a big head. I don't know what I can do. I trust my abilities with spirit. You see, each gift that I use is used when necessary, when needed by the divine. When I do readings for people, and I always hold one hand, because in my way of working, I just want the energy to come one way and not circle. I just want it to come one way. And I can pick up so much just by holding a hand without conscious thought. You know, when you can understand somebody's truly hidden emotional experiences and show them a mirror by terminology and help them understand they've done nothing wrong. They only did what they needed to do at the time, whether it's good or bad. I can't judge. It's not for me to judge, but I can only give positivity back to my recipients. That's what I call my clients. One lady, she was a psychologist. And as soon as I held her hand, she didn't tell me she was a psychologist at first, but as soon as I went, "You hypocrite." I said, "What?" I said, "Well, you teach people how to get through emotional trauma, yes or no?" "Yeah." "And you tell them A, B, C, D. She said, yes. I said, "You don't do it yourself. You carry it all for yourself because you're empathic and you carried all those past experiences with those people you are treating and keeping all that negativity within yourself, and it's burning you out." "How did you know?" Because automatically I could see myself as a child being on a ward with the mentally and physically challenged, where my parents used to work in England. And I used to watch the people with disabilities. By sitting with them, I learned to hone my ability of watching people's faces, body language, sounds, smells. I survived some of the, well, I wasn't in any real danger at all being on these wards. My parents were, and the staff are always there. It was fantastic to learn from people that are so-called mentally deficient. They taught me chess, they taught me how to play darts, snooker, trajectories, and all the rest of it, mathematical wizard. They were brainy in one way or two ways, but not easily conversable. They couldn't have conversations with us. But they used that gift that they could be excelling at, brilliant at, and taught a child. They taught me how to read people just by their actions. Their gifts to me helped me become what I am today. You see, your various gifts come from umpteen sources. How do you stroke a dog? How do you greet a dog? Do you pet the cat? Do you like watching nature? Do you watch the trees? Do you like the rain? All these things are gifts. You can interpret them the way you see fit. You can feel comfortable with them or not, afraid or not. I was terrified as a child. I was pulled off a bicycle by 3 black dogs like Labradors, crossbreed. and dragged along the road. I wasn't physically hurt. My pants, well, in England we call them trousers, were ripped by the dogs pulling on them and dragging my body along the road a bit. And I've always been afraid of black dogs. I can't walk a dog and see a black dog coming toward me. I avoid it. I go rather 10 miles detour than do 100 yards to my house. I just avoid it. But it taught me a lesson. I've got through my fear of dogs. I still don't like walking dogs, especially when black ones are around, but I respect what it's telling me. You see, you have to learn the positive attitude. I survived. I wasn't physically injured. The trauma lasted with me for a long time, but mentally, I finally got through it. It took a long time, as I said. But you see, my gift is, what lesson did I need to learn from this fear? This chronic fear I had of dogs or falling. You know, everybody says, be careful, you'll hurt yourself falling. You don't hurt yourself falling. You hurt yourself when you land. Think about it. The fear of falling is nothing. You parachute, you jump off a diving board into water, no problem. It's the landing in the water that can hurt you if you don't do it properly. Jumping on the bed, you might bounce too hard and bounce off and land on the floor. I'm making light of it, I know. But you see, it's how you react to any input that comes into your life. Your gifts will react automatically to those stimuli from coming out into your physical energy. Because your energy does exceed your physical form. Your energy can be immense, or you can be really secluded and cowed in and hold it all in. But when you hold yourself in, you're boxing yourself into a little sphere and you're not living. You're not growing. You're not expanding and learning your knowledge as a physical spirit having a human form. We are here to learn emotional and physical experiences. When you go back to spirit, because you all will one day, when you go back, you see, I missed that opportunity to learn about that sensation or that emotion. Nobody likes the pain that we go through on this earth and the pain that we see and the suffering. Especially like in Florida, the hurricane. Months later, people have still not even started to get back on the feet. Whole villages gone. But other people are coming around and say, can I help? Here's a gift. Various gifts come in many forms, as I said. But it's what you do with them. Do you do it for self-gain and look at me, I'm better? Or do you do it to say, how can I help? Even without asking, how can you can just help. A medium's job, a lot of it is empathy. We have to feel something from recipients and circumstance and energy. It's how we feel and what we do with that feeling. If we think about it, we can procrastinate or we can make mistakes because we're overthinking things. But by experience, you can be automatic in your response with those gifts innate within you. Because they're there. As sure as you're breathing and seeing and hearing and living, your gifts are there. Some you'll recognize, some you won't even know exist. I don't know all my gifts. I was asked at the start of the show by Cece, have I ever used a pendulum? I've used a pendulum, and they say, oh, no, it could be anything that can dangle. It's better with a cord and something with a point at the end of it. It is better because you can pin down exactly what you're looking for, dowsing for, or twitching for, or scanning. A pendulum can say yes, no, undecided. It can go clockwise, anti-clockwise. But so can dowsing rods. You can get copper rods, hazel, twitch, any piece of wood shaped like a Y, a long piece. You hold the Y piece and stick out the point of the long part of the Y, and you can use it to plumb, douse, twitch. Look up dowsing, dowsing. You see, in the old days, they didn't have electronics. They had to try and find water using willow. Was one of the best ways of doing that. Willow branches or hazel. You can use any wood, but those other woods are too hard. But willow and hazel are pretty good for that. Willow especially. It's a water-based plant. Yeah, those plants are water-based, but more water-type plant. Willow loves water. And it's amazing what you can find if you don't think. Yeah, that's the hard part. Not thinking what you're doing. So to use your gifts, you've got to stop thinking. If I said to the ladies watching, and some of the guys, can you cook an egg? I'd want it poached. Do you know how to poach an egg? Or do you know how to fry an egg, scramble an egg, boil an egg, steam an egg? I can do all that because I was a cook in the Royal Navy. I learned a lot about food in different cultures, traveling the world. My gifts were my art of talking to people. I didn't understand their language. I understood their intentions through their language and the facial expressions, the hands, body language. Because of those people I grew up with on the wards with mentally and physically challenged. I was a damn good communicator. And that ability, or those abilities, I should say, have helped me become what I am today. I want to teach people how to use their gifts. There'll be another show. But you see, this show is about teaching you the possibilities, the choices you have. If you want to do more in-depth medium work or psychic work, you can always contact me. Because I do have a couple of means of which you can contact me by. Now, my email is medium77@gmail.com. Send me a text and ask me anything, and I'll do my best to answer. And you can use my telephone number, but you must leave a voice message. The telephone number is 352-409-1060. I've limited down to 2 ways of connecting with me. But you can find me on, thank you, Robert. But you can find me on Facebook. Well, how can I help you, Robert? Now, I don't know Robert at all. I don't know how I can help you, but if you need to contact me, you can do. I'm always willing to help people. But on a show like this, I'm going to actually start doing some readings. But send me information, Robert. As I say, you can call me after the show at 5:45 or send me an email and I'll get back to you. I can only promise I'll do my best because I don't know what it is I can help you with. But you see, with this show, Dare to Dream, and being an international intuitive evidential medium and psychic, there's a lot of responsibility, and I take it seriously. All I ever give is the highest and best in response. It's my own way of doing things. And I'll be taking a break shortly. So when I come back, I'll talk a little bit more about using your various gifts. And I hope you've enjoyed up to now. Okay, so I'll be back soon. Take care. Are we back online? Yeah, good. It normally comes up with a box, it doesn't this time. But, oh yeah, I noticed that we are more than likely changing from Wednesdays to a Thursday. I'll keep you updated on that. But I'm your host of Dare to Dream, Graham Williamson, International Intuitive Evidential Medium and Psychic. And we're on goingsolomedia.com. Using your gifts. When each of us wake up in the morning, we have a choice to do the highest and best, not just for ourselves, but for other people. You have to have intention. And that's not always easy to actually pin down. But if you make a habit of saying, I'm going to do my highest and best for everybody I encounter, and for myself and those I love, you can't be far wrong. As long as it comes from your heart. You see, your heart and your guts are the most important part of your gifts. The head is mostly the ego or self, and that tends to get you in all sorts of trouble. So when you listen to your heart and your guts, you can respond in a positive manner. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it. If you feel comfortable with it, do it. It may be that you need to learn a lesson, or the person you're communicating with needs to learn a lesson, or both of you. Don't have expectations other than doing your highest and best. Because as I said earlier, you are responsible for your words and your actions when you're with a recipient. By the practice I've had, I've learned I don't say anything that I don't stand by. It's by experience that I'm using these words to you. And they're not the same as everybody else's, because I, Graham Williamson, I'm an individual, same as everybody else. I know many gifted mediums, many gifted psychics, but each one of us do our own thing. I'm just doing mine slightly different by, luckily, by spirit guidance, meeting CC and going solo media. It was the best thing I've done in a long time, of being able to come online bi-weekly and do my shows. But I do aim to expand the show a little bit more and possibly getting guests on. This show is a gift. CC has been a gift in my life as well. And all the people that come on, the other hosts of all the other shows. You saw some titles there through the break. I'm honoured to be with all these people. And each one of us are individuals and different. We've all got our little facet of the truth. Our truths. Maybe yours as well. I don't know. I hope so. But you see, if I can help one person get through trauma, or thinking more positively about, I'm hearing voices but there's nobody there, or I'm feeling things and things happen, or preconceived ideas, prophecy, and people calling me weird and all this. I've been through it. Mine started at 3.5 because I used to do the fairs at the bottom of the garden, and my grandmother helped me get through that trauma by just showing me a candle and a glass of water. She put a glass of water right in front of me, candle behind it. So what do you see through the glass of water? I said, the candle. She said, right, come around the other side. So glass of water first, candle behind it. Well, can't do it that way. That's better. I'm not very good at camera angles. Glass of water, candle. I'm looking this way. She says, what do you see? Glass of water and candle. Different perspective. They don't see the same way you do. I went back to school and I didn't care after that. I was still a shy, introverted person, read books and comics. But I learned. I learned about my gifts over my life. I learned about the body. I learned about all the psychics, all the mediums, all the ways of doing things. The palm reading, the tea leaves, the crystal ball, the pendulums, playing cards, tarot cards, psychometry, clairsentience, clairaudience. I mean, there's so many ways of doing things, and all these things kept on exploding in my abilities. I thought, oh, I didn't know I could do that. Oh, well, that didn't work out right. Let's try it another way. I never got disappointed because it was a new way of being Graham Williamson. It brought me out of my shell. My shell basically was a protection to learn all the things that I needed up to a point. Then one day when I left the Royal Navy, I rented a car, played bat out of hell going through the gate, saying, goodbye, Royal Navy, 14.5 years I've done. And I was free. To do what? I had no clue. But Spirit put me in positions where I'm now living in America. I don't regret one single part of my life. I'm sad over some of the parts. And I feel deeply for some of the mistakes I made. But my mistakes also made me a better person to do something about them. I can't change the past. I can only change my future by looking after myself now. And using my gifts, my various gifts, I'm able to help other people have a better life. You know, if just one of you said, Graham, you helped me realize I'm not weird, I'm not losing my mind, then my life's purpose has been fulfilled for that person. And that is a joy I cannot hold back. To say I've helped somebody find out they're not losing their marbles, not going insane, and it's normal to be different. It's normal to have different abilities. It's more abnormal to shut them down and hide from them and say that they're corrupt and negative. They're only negative because that person perceives them as not doing what they wanted them to do. It's only negative if it doesn't work out the way you expected it, your ego wanted it. Even the most negative of situations can be turned around. I've been shot at, held up at gunpoint, held a bomb that should have gone off, been in 3 major car accidents. Yeah, I was scared at the time, I was petrified, but I survived them, and I'm a recovered alcoholic. And that's not a banner. That's a sad part of my life. But I found out when I switched off consciously, because I was drunk all the time, I was working better as a medium. I was reading people and telling people things and spooking about, oh, he's just a drunk. But, oh, lucky guess that was. You told me about stuff. Hey, Greg, can you remember what you said yesterday when you were drunk? Nah. Oh, you told me about such and such. No, I don't tell my mum or whomever. And I said, yeah. So even as a drunk, I was helping people. But I wasn't proud of myself in a good way. I can say to people when they say, oh, you don't know what it's like being a drunk. Huh? Yeah. Or you don't know what it's like hearing voices. Yeah. And so on. You see, each of us have these gifts within us. Don't limit them to saying, oh, I'm just clairaudient or clairvoyant or whatever. Ask for guidance every day. And at night, say, thank you for allowing me to experience what you've gone through. And with all the turmoil and negativity in the world today, you don't want to endorse the negativity. What can you get back from the negativity? You see, I've learned that even with a heartache, it means my heart's saying, you feel the pain. And you know what pain means to me? I've got a chance to live again. My body doesn't like it. My heart doesn't like it. So why are you going through it? You see, if you look after yourself healthily, you'll have strain. Eat well, drink well, look after yourself. Have a better mental attitude. That's using your gifts of life. Sorry about my little dog there, Bo. I'm just making a bed. You see, every opportunity in your life can be used as a gift. You've just got to recognize it and say, thank you. What can I glean from it? What can I learn from it? What can I know from it? Every single gift is important to you. And if you use it correctly, it may be very important to somebody else. You could save a life, emotionally and physically. But you are, as I say, I've got to stress it, you are responsible for your words and your actions with the recipient. It's the way the law works in today's societies. You can't tell somebody, I guarantee this or I guarantee that. No, we can only evaluate. I'm not a medical trained person at all. I don't have any qualifications, but I can do evidential, intuitive medical readings. Because my body's been through a lot, and I use what I've experienced when I find a recipient, and I'll work out, did you have something, a broken bone or a stomach issue or a headache or jaw, whatever it is? How do you know that? Because I remember when I went through things. But I'm not a doctor. So how can I do that? Because the energy is shared from and to each other. We're all connected by this energy. Our various gifts are touched by those energies and they expand. The more people you find thinking and acting similar to yourself, the better the expansion will be. But you've got to have good intent. You must have good intent. You can have negative and it will work and you will suffer. Who wants to be in a group all negative? Not me. That's your choice. I like life. I like being positive. I enjoy being happy. I live with my feet firmly on the ground. My gifts are to you being able to tell you about experiences I've been through. Because I can't speak for anybody else. I can only speak through my life. I'm not going to say, if you do what Joe Bloggs down the street said, you'll be fine. I can't do that. I know what I've been through, and I'm sharing it with you willingly and freely. That's my gift, or one of them. And going on this show, Dare to Dream, I'm able to share my life with you. And I want you all to try a little technique of calming yourself down. It takes 1.5 minutes. I'm saying this purely to calm your mind down and think in positivity. It's just to close your eyes. Don't open them to the end. And concentrate only What colours do you see when you first close your eyes? It takes normally about 5-10 seconds. You normally see a colour. That colour can be any colour. But when you see it, what does that colour feel and mean to you emotionally? It could be red, green, purple, pink, any colour. But each time you do this, the emotion could be different for the same colour. But then after the colour, you can see black. And I ask people to let the black flow through them, in them, around them, totally encompassing them, to feel warmth, security, peace, empathy, love, protection. Black is absorption of knowledge. Knowledge is in the black. It's going into oneself. It is oneself. And when you feel it going through you and feeling a part of you, your breathing slows down, your mind calms down, because the black is everything. Because you don't want to be thinking about, oh, that noise or that person or that sound or whatever. Just concentrate on the colour black. By focusing on one thing only, everything else is excluded, other than those sensations of peace and security and of love. And then you open your eyes. And I normally say, how do you feel now? And the mind actually has slowed down. Because there's nothing that can hurt you. You see, black is absorption of knowledge. When you look at the stars, the only way you can see a star is because of the black around it. Think about it. And I say, the black being the knowledge, the star or the light is a giving of knowledge. It's a balance. Black absorbs, white's a balance. We have a balance in everything that we do and what we are. Our gifts are a balance of your energy. You have to work out what they mean to you. Mine are total freedom. It's a joy. I feel healthier, happier, more receptive to being able to help people in need. I need help. And people around me give me that, but I also return it. There's no limitation to your gifts. There's no limitation to that energy that flows through you. You see, it's not my energy. This is divine's energy. It goes through every single thing of this entire universe. The energy is everything. Energy never dies. It changes. It's like water. You can't destroy water. It always come back. H2O, 2 hydrogen, 1 oxygen. You know, people are made mostly of water. Did you know that? And that flowing current has energy, a field of energy. They're like biomagnets, North Pole and South Pole, our auras. That's why you can feel different things, your throat, your third eye, your crown, your heart, and all the other points, all the chakra points. See, you've got so many things coursing through you that you don't even know yet. Explore and find out using your various gifts, and you'll have a blast with life. But don't think it's you doing it on your own. It's not. It's spirit, divine energy working through you because you're connected to it. I hope you've enjoyed my show. I've enjoyed talking to you. As I say, if you want to contact us, please do so. As I say, I'm the host, Dare to Dream. I'm Graham Williamson, evidential medium, psychic. And you can contact me by my email, which is a medium77@gmail.com. Leave me a message and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Or phone me on 352-409-1060 and leave a voice message. If you don't, I won't respond. And you can contact me on Facebook as well, Graham Williamson. You know what my face looks like. Look for my face, and you can contact me that way, Messenger. I'll help you if I can. But it's been a pleasure, as I say. And I'll be back on the 8th, I believe. No, the 9th. 9th of November. But they are going to be changing to Thursdays before too long. So bi-weekly. So I'm looking forward to my next show with you. Please like, share, comment, and what's the word now? Subscribe to the goingsolomedia.com, because there's a vast amount of hosts with abilities far outweigh mine, helping other people get through life. If I've helped you, let us know, or let CC know, because I've enjoyed it. And I want to thank each and every one of you, and see you in a couple of weeks. Bye.